Hey, we're here at the Cathedral of St. Francis de Sales with Father Josh Rodrigue, former rector here, and it's pretty cold. Welcome, Father.
Did our hands just freeze together now?
Thanks for spending some time with us.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for putting a fire here. You know, it's nice to know that it's colder here than in Rome right now. So, thanks for making this a special day.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, before you share with us about what you're doing in Rome, can you tell us a little bit about where you grew up and the schools you went to?
I grew up in the St. Charles community, south of the Foos Crossing. Grew up there, lived in my great-grandfather's house. So it was a family home on the bayou. And went to St. Charles Elementary from kindergarten through 7th grade. So went to public school, which classmates always laugh because they think St. Charles is a Catholic school. But nope, public school. And then went to E.D. White from 8th through 12th. So best of both worlds, public and Catholic school. So
Redbird, huh?
that's right, a good one, a good Redbird.
Absolutely. And then you went off to seminary.
Then I went to St. Ben's, St. Joseph Seminary College in Covington, across Lake Pontchartrain. Did 4 years of college over there, and then went overseas to North American College in Rome for 5 years.
What was your first assignment and thereafter?
Well, technically after ordination, my first assignment was at the Co-Cathedral for 7 weeks, and then went from there back to the North American College to finish up that last year of studies, and then went there for 9 months, finished up the license program, then came on in and was assigned as the associate pastor over at Holy Cross in Morgan City. Was there for 3 years with 3 different pastors, and then went to St. Anthony in Bayou Black as pastor over there. I'm not catching on fire, am I? I saw an ember fly this way.
You're good. I'm watching.
Then went to St. Anthony Bayou Black for 6 years there, and finally was sent here to the cathedral as rector, and finished that up this past year, and then was assigned now to the North American College as the director of pastoral formation, the director of 5th-year priests, that's the guys that are returning for their license, and associate professor of theology at the Pontifical Gregorian University. I'm a formation advisor.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about what you're actually doing there, if you want to explain that a little bit.
Well, it's we have about 240 seminarians from the United States, some from Australia and Canada. And so it's all English speakers that live in the house there. They do their formation there, how to be a priest in the house, but they go to the universities for their education. So they'll go to 3 primary universities for their first 3 years, and then they can go to some different ones depending on what they specialize in. But my job is essentially trying to coordinate the Thursday night sessions that we have. It's practical classes that we have. So you might have parish administration for a couple of them. You have the different practica, how to celebrate Mass, how to hear confessions, how to do the anointing of the sick, and then there's a separate chair for the homiletics department, but we take part in listening to the homilies. So, we had some of them, they'll give them different scenarios. So they had First Communion and Corpus Christi together. So I have 4 guys that I'd listen to their homilies, and one of them was like, "That was a great Corpus Christi homily. It was a horrible First Communion homily. If I was a First Communion teacher, I would have killed you by this point because my kids would have been running all over the church." So it's giving them good, some pointers and tips on how to be a good preacher. How to give people good meat and potato stuff instead of just sort of, well, here I read this online. Let me give that to you. So it's mainly doing a lot of that. I also have 23 formation advisees, so I meet with these guys once a month. They're from first-year theologians to 4th-year theologians. So I meet with them once a month, and we talk about how things are going with the main pillars of formation, and these 4 pillars of formation that we sort of base our I guess how we form them. And check and see how they're going with that. Just how is daily life going? Living away from home in Rome. How is that going? And evaluation time. Who's sitting on evaluations? And so it's a lot of administrative work, a lot of paperwork. I'm doing more paperwork, I think, over there than I did over here in the diocese with things. But
You liking it?
Oh yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a change. I feel like I'm a first year seminarian too. Even though I'm a first year faculty member, I feel like a first year seminarian because, you get a lot of the, oh, by the way, I meant to tell you, you're in charge of this, or, oh, by the way, this is your responsibility and was due last week, So I feel like I'm a first year seminarian just trying to get my feet down on the ground and know what's going on. And, it's a lot of sort of familiarity because I'd studied there, so it's very much being like at home, but being on this side of the desk now as the faculty member is a little different than being there as a seminarian. So
What are you doing with your time off in Rome?
what time off?
Yeah.
No, I never had time off. No, actually, my day off is on Saturday, and for the college, most of the guys, they have off on Saturday. So a lot of times I like to at least a couple of times a week go jogging. So they say, oh, you go jogging up the hill? I said, no, because, with all the cars and all that, I might as well put my lips on the end of a tailpipe and inhale with all the traffic, the fumes and all that. But I go on the other side of the hill to the Doria Pamphili Park. So there's a nice green park in Rome. So I fool myself into thinking I'm breathing fresh air while I'm jogging.
Yeah.
And I'll go jog out over there, or, take some time, go to the Vatican museums, or just see some sites in Rome that that I hadn't seen or that I have seen but hadn't had a chance to see again. So I'll go and do that on my day off.
Cool. Now, 2 weeks ago, as you came in for a break here, you were celebrating the Vigil Mass at the cathedral here. That was quite a number of people.
I had a few. Yeah.
Did that feel? It just felt good to be back and celebrate Mass.
It did, because over at the college, I might celebrate Mass for the community maybe once or twice a month and preach, because there's so many faculty members and fifth-year priests, and then we get the deacons to preach also. So we're on a rotation. So with celebrating Mass, that's what when I went to the college, my concern was, I thought I knew how to celebrate Mass, but you have all these different ways that they want you to do it, so that everybody's doing the same thing, so there's not confusing everyone. So coming back over here, I was worried, do I remember how to celebrate Mass? Because you don't celebrate as the main celebrant so often. But it was like coming home. And when I was asked, can I let people know that you're going to be coming in? I was like, yes. I thought it was just, people would ask, well, oh, you're going to have Mass? Yeah, it's going to have Mass that day. I didn't know they were going to plaster it on social media. So I said I felt like a rock star going, for one performance only in some, venue, live for one night only, Father Josh celebrating Mass, one Mass only. So, but it was nice to see people again. In fact, it was, some people was like, well, we wanted to see you, but we knew the line was so long. And in fact, I had a baptism afterwards. So my concern was that I was gonna, I was telling everybody hello so much, I was afraid the infant was gonna be shaving by the time I got in there to go ahead and baptize him. But it was very nice to see the crowds there and to have a full church, especially right around Christmas time. So it was nice you know that you're loved, but you're reminded oftentimes how much you are loved by people, and especially how they love their priests.
We all love you very much. Father, for you, what is one of the best things about being a priest?
Oh, the best things about being the priest for me, well, if I look at it as just being a priest rather than, all the doings as a priest, because doing as a priest, things change. I feel like I've only had an assignment maybe for, 6 years. I feel like I can't hold down a job. It's always changing. But for being a priest, I guess that love for the people and that desire for them to encounter Christ. The best thing about being a priest is being that bridge, because, the love that I have for the Lord, I want them to experience that love. The love that I know that the Lord has for me, I want them to experience that and know that, that He is there to love them, to walk with them. It doesn't matter how difficult the situations are, how wonderful the situations are. He's always there. And just, knowing what the Lord has done for me in my life, wanting, so badly for people to know that He's there. And, it always saddens me when I hear, just, I guess, in the media and television and all that, this just, religion being put down, or, people living their lives without God. Just that sadness that's there, knowing what they're missing, and so just being able to help them to encounter that love of Christ. That's the best thing. Just anytime, even just doing as a priest, with the sacraments, wanting them to just encounter Christ. That's always the goal, and that's what I tell the guys at the seminary. It's like, what is the goal? The goal is we want them to encounter Christ. Now you have to figure out how to do that. And that's where divine inspiration and divine perspiration comes in. Yeah. But just to be able to experience that, because one day we're going to see each other again, hopefully. That if we don't get to know each other now, we have an eternity to do it. If we don't know Christ now, then it's going to be a very sad time in life to come. If we didn't know Him, but just letting people know Christ is there for you.
Thank you very much for your priesthood, Father. We miss you. We all miss you. We hope you come back.
I don't miss the meetings, so that's good, But I know I do miss it here. That's why it was nice being back, to be able to have some normal food, boiled seafood. They don't do a good job over there with the seafood as much. I mean, it's fresh seafood, but they fry their fish with the heads on it.
Oh.
Yes, and they're looking at you, and I can't eat the fish while it's staring at me. And some of them look a little angry. They have some teeth on there, and the holidays, those are difficult times. Thanksgiving. They haven't gotten the carving turkey
No
down.
crawfish.
No crawfish, and the turkeys, it looks like they carved it with dynamite.
Oh.
It just looks like it's exploded all over. We have shards of bone. It's just.
No gumbo. No
Well,
jambalaya?
now we do have there's 8 of us from Louisiana there, so we have Louisiana night once a week. So we get together and keep our Louisiana bonds, and so we'll have some jambalaya and gumbo every once in a while. So we have a lot of non-Louisianians that want to hop in on that little gathering.
Did you bring your Tony Sassery with you?
Oh, I shipped a lot of that. Well, I have some Zatarans, actually. I have about four cans of that, Crystal hot sauce, so I have that all shipped. So
Wonderful.
I make a lot of friends at lunchtime when they see all that. It makes the salads not taste like vegetables, so it's pretty good.
Yep. Well, thanks for spending some time with us today.
Oh, glad to be able to do it.
We hope that you come back and visit.
When it's warmer, I think I'll come back, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, probably summertime.
God bless you, Father.
God bless.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you. You too.
Well, Josh, take one.
Get
I'm
the
on
embers off.
fire!
Or we can stick my tongue to this chair and it'll freeze like on A Christmas Story.